Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video. Today I have for you guys this 2022 Scott Spark Team Issue RC. Retail is $5,600, size large, weighs in at 26 pounds, 9 ounces. And kilos, we are right at 12.05 kilos. Stay tuned to after video. We're here a Freehub body sound test on those wheels right there, those Silverton 2.0s. Thank you. Idiot. Hey, how's it going, everyone? GC Performance here, back with another video. Today I have for you guys the 2022 Scott Spark RC Team Issue. Retail on this bike is $5,600, and it's a size large. And as you guys just saw, it was 26 pounds. First and foremost, we just have to notice there's no more rear shock showing for the rear suspension. This is a dual suspension bike, and Scott does one of the best jobs at giving you the best bang for your buck. I mean, this bike is only $5,600 with a carbon frame and a wireless group set on there. So I always applaud Spark for giving, I think, the best value for dollar in terms of big brand name companies. But two, color scheme on this bike, beautiful. It's a chameleon paint job. You can see it kind of change from purple to green. And then with that highlighter yellow on there, it looks really, really good. But I'll go over all the specs on this bike. It's 120 millimeter travel. Show you guys the components, show you guys some of the cool features. But again, if you're kind of in between looking for an XC bike or maybe a little bit more of a trail bike that you don't know what you want to do yet, this is Scott's full-on racing bike. This is their top tier, not top tier. This is their racing style bike that's meant to be their XC bike now, but they made it in 120 travel to give you a little bit more playfulness with it. So this bike can kind of do both of the best worlds. And I'll show you some of the features. But so starting off, 120 millimeters of travel in the front, 120 millimeters travel in the rear, and it gives it massive tires. But let's go through all the technologies on this bike. So starting off with the handlebars, it's a aluminum handlebar, 31.8 Scott Synchros bar, and then you have their own Scott Synchros stem as well. This is the cheaper model, so this is alloy and alloy. They do make a full carbon fiber one-piece version of this, which that'll buff right out. Don't worry about that. Give the customer a nice little discount. They do make a one-piece version of this where it's a full carbon fiber bar. You can tell that will kind of lighten up as well. But Scott actually took some of the road innovation and moved over to the mountain bike innovation. I don't know how many people will be happy with it, but they put the cables. This is your front brake right here. I'm sorry, this is your rear brake cable going down to the headset. Same with the TwinLoc for the rear shock as well. Goes down into here. One thing I will say, I know the carbon does a little bit better job of kind of hiding this. One thing I'm going to say though, and this is something we'll have to see how long this lasts for. I'm not the biggest fan of how big this hole opening is. Because if you look inside there, it's a pretty big opening straight into where your headset bearings are. I can only imagine sweat, dirt, and dust might play a problem to that. We'd have to see, like anything new, we're gonna have to see the longevity of this, how it works. They did a really good job of covering up the rear shock and not keeping exposed to the elements, and prolong or allow the shock to not be serviced as much and all stuff like that. But this integration system right here, I'm all for integrating and making things more aero, but I don't like how wide open that is. So we'll have to keep looking at. But still very easy to adjust for your headset to take off. Similar to how their road bikes are. This is just a little cover plate right here, and then you have a full access to your pinch bolts right here to take off your stem, to remove it, to lower the spacers. You can do all that stuff. It gives you a whole kit that you can actually lower the stem if you want before cutting anything. Very easy stuff, which is nice. You get an XT rear brake, Shimano XT Dior rear brake, Shimano XT Dior front brake. They have on here Synchros locking grips, and then on here you have the GX Axis wireless shifter on here with the rocker paddle. You're seeing more and more bikes come from factory with the upgraded rocker paddle, which is nice. Just feels a little bit more natural. The other paddle was a little bit more not pleasant to use, in my personal opinion. And then going on back over this side, they have on here their patented TwinLoc system by Scott. So what this does is, as is right now, your shocks are completely open. You have a switch to go ahead and hit it. And this is going to make the front shock and the rear shock go into their mid position. A little bit more. So when pressing that TwinLoc like that, sorry about that car, started up and drove away. When pressing this halfway, so we have it open, we press halfway, this is going to make this shock a little bit less stiff. So it's going to take away some of the travel, making making your suspension a little bit more firm in the front and also in the rear as well. It's going to make that, and then you have a push to lock out both of them all the way. So it's going to make the shocks even more stiff. It's going to lock out the front shock, so you can see when we press this, it's going to lock out the front shock, And then in the rear, it's going to make it almost where it's 80 travel. And so Scott's idea behind this, and I know you guys like, how is it changing the travel? Scott, what they proclaim is that when this bike is completely open, you have 120 millimeter travel in the rear shock. When you press it once, the rear shock goes to 100 millimeters of travel. And when you press it again, it makes the rear shock 80 millimeters of travel. So you're actually changing the geo of the bike, making it a little bit more racy each time you press in that TwinLoc feature, and you're making it more capable of, if you want to go on flats or if you're going for a balls to the wall kind of sprint finish or whatever. A majority of people in Florida, I know, they usually keep it on lockdown all the time because they want the most speed on there. But if there's ever any other features of like a switchback, a jump or something like that, you open it up and you actually get the full use of the 120 millimeters travel. Another thing that I do like, that small things that I noticed as a mechanic, before these TwinLocs used to be actually attached to the grips. So if you ever want to change out your grips to the foam grips, you got to swap out the whole TwinLoc system and redo the cables, which was such a pain in the butt. I love that they put this here now. Makes it much easier for mechanics to work on bikes. So very nice. Another thing to notice about Scott, every single one of these bolts, the steer cap plug, the pinch bolts for your stem, your grips even, your water bottle cage bolts, every single bolt on here is a T. A T25, a T10. It's not a regular Allen key. So keep that in mind. If you ever get a Scott, you're gonna need to bring like the top cap, I believe, is a T25. These are T25. They do give you a little tool, which I'll show you later in the through axle, but it doesn't work with your normal Allen keys. That's pretty cool like that. I mean, I just love the innovation and the look of this. They actually bought this out from a company called Boyd with a shock being housed in there. Actually, Scott bought them and then made the company, and then use that technology to apply to their own sparks. I'll show you where the shock door is and everything like that too. But very cool stuff. Again, so $5,600 model. You have the Scott logo on the front right here with the highlighter yellow. We have the cables up here, which they did a little bit better job of cleaning up. We should put a little zip tie here to make this a little bit cleaner. You have this is the RockShox SID RL3, I believe. So this is a little bit heavier fork of what it would usually be on there. They also offer the Ultimate and the higher tier price points. You have in here the Synchros 2.0 wheels. They're aluminum wheels, regular spokes, and then a Synchros hub as well. Synchros is an in-house brand made by Scott, similar to how Revolve is Specialized. Bontrager is a Trek. Synchros is made by Scott. Tires they put on here is going to be the Recon Race 29 by 2.4, and you notice they went with a massive tire. It's not that full XC tire. Again, the idea behind this is that they want to have a wider tire with a XC kind of tread pattern. Wider tire will give you more stability. It'll give you more confidence going into turn faster and coming out of turns quicker. You can trust your bike better. So they're saying the little bit more drag you have, you'll make up to by going into corners and stuff like that, and you're coming out of the corners faster. That's the whole idea behind it. The rims are tubeless ready. The tires are tubeless ready. They include with the bike as well, you get the tubeless valves. All you need to do is just buy the solution to put inside the tires as well. Another thing to mention, this bike being $5,600, this is a different frame carbon material than the top end frame. This frame is their HMF. They make an HMX as well. So if you want a lighter weight bike, you can spend the more money and get the lighter weight carbon layup, which will just be a little bit lighter, a little bit stiffer, all that hoopla. All that marketing stuff. It is a boost bike, so the front through axle is going to be a 15 by 110 for the through axle. We have on here a 180 millimeter Shimano XT rotor, 6-bolt still with our 6 Shimano XT brake caliper there. You can see we have 120 millimeters of travel. We have on here our lockout situation here for the front fork. And this is where we're going to put in our air to adjust the suspension. Going down the frame, we have the beautiful paint job, but just notice the top tube. Notice the Spark logo right here, the highlighter. Notice how thin this top tube is. I mean, it is paper thin. Like it's crazy how nice this looks. It's really cool. Very beefy down tube. Very beefy down tube, but it looks very, very nice. Also, first generation of Sparks have 2 water bottle placements. You actually have a place to put a water bottle. Before, you could not do that because the shock was exposed and going vertical. So then I had 1 spot for water bottles. Now you get 2 water bottle cage spots. So if you guys ever complain about hydration, you have the option now too. You have the Synchros bolts. You have the Team Issue logo right here. You have the Scott logo going down the bottom of it. Paint job looks on fleek. This is the port or the opening, which I'll show you guys in a second, where you open up to adjust your shock air pressure. Actually, you know what? I'll do that right now. Give me 1 second. All right, so right now I have the bike flipped upside down. You see right there. We have our opening for the rear shock. So it's a little plastic cover. You have a lock and an unlock system. So go ahead and turn this to unlock. This will open up this door. Now we can see it's the Nude, I believe it's called their RockShox Nude RC5, I believe. You have your air suspension right here where you're going to make the adjustments for your weight of the shock. We have our lockout system here with also our rebound as well. The Nude system, it's called Nude, is proprietary to Fox. I'm sorry, proprietary to Scott. So actually before they make these bikes, they'll put out an order to RockShox and to Fox how many shocks they need of these things. The only problem with these is that they're very hard to find after a couple years goes by because these are proprietary systems. So to work with these TwinLoc systems, these aren't really bought aftermarket. So keep that in mind. But you can see you have all that kind of carbon layup in there, and I'll show you guys the sag, how to set the sag and everything like that too, which is really cool. Then we go ahead and put the door back on, just like so. So easy, like that. And I would love to see in the higher end models, I haven't seen the higher end model yet. I'd love to see this in carbon fiber. I think it'd be really cool. Give me one sec, I'm gonna bring the bike back up. I'll be right with you. All right guys, so now you guys saw how to operate the rear shock hole. The rear shock hole. We have on here the crank that comes stock on it is going to be the GX SRAM with a dub spindle as well. The new bikes come with a wide spindle, so keep that in mind. I actually tried removing his current crank and putting onto this bike a regular spindle. It would not fit properly. I don't know if I just have the right spacers. You get a 32 tooth chain ring by GX. You get a GX Eagle chain as well. You got a nice little carbon fiber chain dropper cover plate right there. Again, these are your holes, your bolts to remove the shock. It's a T30. Keep that in mind. We'll go over this side. We have a press fit bottom bracket dub system on here. I know you guys probably like to see threaded, but they're still using the press fit option on there as well. And now over here we have your sag percent, 25, 15, and 0%. And so when you're setting up your suspension, we can go ahead and we can air up the shock, have you sit on it, and then we can see how much sag you want to be applied depending on your riding style, and actually get a nice sag gauge right there as well. Also, they have this little hole plate right here. We pop this open, and this is really for son of a bitch. Think you're tough for me? Nah, fucking shit. Yeah, I'm better than you. You got this nice little rubber piece that's not going to come out. It's not going to go away for you on rides. But this is how we can see the shock stanchion for the rear shock, but this will be for mechanics if you needed to adjust your rear shock or move it for service. We compress the shock and then we be able to get to the bolt right there as well. So don't touch that, but it's nice engineering for the mechanics. So that way we don't have to worry about to remove your shock just in case you want to do service on it. The linkage back here is cool. We have this nice little cover plate for your rear linkage as well, so that way no dirt and grime gets in there. Nice little plus. You got your T30s to remove the bolts as well. Going to the rear of the bike, we have a GX wireless rear derailleur access system with a battery installed in the rear for it. So the battery pops on and off right here. A nice system again, beautiful that they put on a wireless system on here for this bike. And then you have a GX cassette, 10 tooth down here, 52 tooth on the bottom, a nice wide range of gearing. And then the same wheels in the rear. It's a Synchros 2.0 aluminum wheel with a Synchros hub. And then the rear rotor is going to be a 6-bolt, 160 millimeter rotor with the Shimano XT brakes. Don't really know how I feel about the mix match with the XT brakes and the SRAM drivetrain. I am a big fan of SRAM brakes for some reason for mountain bikes. I really do like them. For road bikes, I like Shimano more, but just my preference. Recon race for the tires again, same tires up front, 29 by 2.4, tubeless ready. The rims are tubeless ready. Seat post is aluminum. Handlebar is aluminum. Again, the nicer models will come with carbon fiber. The seat collar right here is a T25, and then the saddle is going to be their Scott Synchros Belcara seat post. And then this is what Scott always does really nice. They have on here, so if you ever want to remove your through axle, well, let's say you did a crash or you twist your handlebars, you want to raise your seat on the go. You have on here, not only is this your through axle to help you get this off, but this is also a multi-tool. It's a T25 head. If this would just focus a little bit, it's a T25, a T30, and also a T6. So crazy engineering. No, I'm just kidding. But again, these are the small little things that I love that bike companies do. I can adjust my seat height I can actually remove my shocks if I wanted to at home if I don't have the right tools. I can remove my through axles on a 6mm bike. I can adjust everything on here. I can literally change my configuration on the trails as I go. If I want to lower my handlebars, if I wanted to lower my seat, raise my seat, if I ran into an issue with anything, I have the tools on hand, and it doesn't have to be this massive kind of tool pack you carry with you. So very nice, shout out to them, kudos to them for that. You can move your rear axle with it. You can also remove your front axle because this is a 6mm as well. But yes, that's it. I think I covered everything I could on the bike. So that's gonna do it for this video, guys. This is the brand new 2022 Scott Spark team issue Axis. Retail is $5,600. I have one of these left in a size large. I only saw two. I sold one immediately. I only have one left. Message me if you're in the area for it. Retail $5,600. Weight is 26 pounds. And yeah, 120. Very cool bike. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys next video. Freehub body sound test on this Scott Spark SL. These are Synchros 2.0 wheels, aluminum wheel, and Synchros hub. Here comes Freehub body sound test right now. Sounds good. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. See you guys next video.